Okay, before we end, I want to show you this design deficiency that happened. They used all three of the houses I bought 15 years ago. I used to own that house. You see that puddle? Right under the eave? It's coming right under the eave. If we were getting a really strong storm right now, like I've seen dump here, that puddle would be 3 feet wide. Right there in the middle of his lot, where you see that bush, it's about 2 inches higher than right there. The builder did it that way intentionally, to keep all the water that comes off that roof onto this lot. Now, if it rains for a week like this, this lot underneath this house is getting a full charge of water. If we were in a climate, or the climate changes around here to where we get rainstorms like this every other day and soak, look what's happening to the ground under his house. He has to absorb all that water. And what that's doing is driving the termites out from under the house. When you soak the ground under the house like it's doing, but right now his cement foundation is soaking up that water like a sponge. Just soaking it up. And the reason you see, and if you look beyond my neighbors, everything runs from between their patio. If I were to go over there, I won't, because I don't want to offend anybody. They are real sensitive in this neighborhood. But on the other side of their patio is a lake. Just like a lake you're looking at right there, the lake you're looking at there, the lake you're looking at there. I don't have a lake, because I'll send you a video of what I did to get the water down to there. I had to do all the landscaping. I brought in a guy and he took out, well, the golf course took 25 yards of dirt that I took off my lot. I had to pay an excavator $3,000 to come in and take another 75 yards off my lot just to get rid of the berm. And now what we need to happen is, as you look out there and you see that berm, there isn't supposed to be a berm beyond my plants. It's supposed to drop off. There's not supposed to be a puddle down there. And I'm not even down to the original line. I had a water level and I've been mapping it out. And I got it to where it would work, to where the water was getting away from the houses. But I couldn't get any. I started to get so low on the thing that I had a ditch between me and the golf course, trying to get down to the engineered line. The line that the engineer in Scottsdale said my property line is supposed to be at. The topographical height. Now you already took away 3 inches of topographical height from this house right here. Now, I used to have exactly what they had over there. But during my little $6,000 2-year project, what I did is I ran a pipe from right there where you see that little puddle at the end of that cement. There's a drain. I put gutters. The house next door doesn't have gutters. They don't have a drain that goes from right there down to the property line. Right there where you see that one plant where it's kind of a gap. Let's see. Right there. Right there I got about a 4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot cube filled with shot rock or leach rock, covered with tarp and landscape fabric, so there's a place for the water to go. It's called a dry well. Anybody that knows anything, dry well. There's a 4-inch pipe. There's a 4-inch pipe that runs from there all the way to the dry well. I used to get a lake here. This house used to have a lake 4 feet wide in front of it. Every time it would rain, I'd have a lake here that stretched past here. It went all the way back there, and because this house is 3 inches lower than my house, and it's not supposed to be, these houses are all supposed to be the same elevation. All right, my house and that house are supposed to be the same elevation. The next house over is supposed to be the same elevation. They're not. I've already surveyed them. I brought a surveyor here before I started working on the property. I explained to him that every time we got a good rainstorm like we're getting today, that I had a moat around my house. Well, he was from Scottsdale, so he came over and took a look. He's got 35 years seniority, or 35 years experience as a surveyor. He took one look. He walked back here and took one look. He said, I don't even have to take my equipment out of the car. They made you it. You're the drain. I can see by eye that they ramped, they graded everything to flow onto your lot. Now, I'm taking you to the other side. I'm going to try to tell you the challenge I had. Again, right off of that cement, under those rocks, is a 4-inch drain. And it runs all the way down to where you see that piece of cement and that white stake. Same thing, 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet cavity filled with shot rock. That's why you're not seeing the water accumulate here. Okay, let me get back down. I've got videos, I'll probably send them to you, of me grading all this. As you can see, this is my lot. My problem is I'm trying to sell this house, and because I sold real estate 40 years ago in Seattle, and I know I have to disclose, which wasn't disclosed to me, this house is built 3 inches low. It was built 3 inches low so they would have a low spot to park water. What you're looking at here is all high ground. This right here, where the drain is, used to be ground zero. Now I want to show you this roof line. You take a look at that roof right there. That roof is a lot of square footage. Okay? That eave right there is 75 feet long with no gutters. All that water that comes off that roof comes in between those houses. Before I did the work, there wasn't a drain here, there wasn't this here, there wasn't gutters here. All the water came off the roof like you saw my neighbor's house and soaked under the foundation. I'm going to send you videos of me spending about 3 hours laying down plastic and tar paper and rock over the first 10 feet. And I had to sculpt it so it would run downhill. But I was limited by the height of the finished floor elevation. That finished floor elevation, that patio, is supposed to be 3 inches higher than what it is. Somebody downtown, Buckeye, gave the builder, signed off on the permit to lower this house 3 inches. I'm going to follow that property line. That didn't run downhill. I used to get a lake that went past that air conditioning unit. The lake would be a full lake from house to house, past the air conditioning unit, going about 20 feet out to where the berm started. The puddle started right here, the puddle started here, and it ended here. I got drafted 15 years ago by a bunch of redneck civil engineers and builders out here that said, he's from out of town, he's a Californian, we don't like him, plus we've got $30,000 of his cash in our bank. If he ever finds out and he doesn't want to go through with the deal, we've got his money. So they did it, thinking that they would never get caught. We'll never get caught. No way will ever figure this out. Now, here's what I've had to do. Here's what I've had to do to route the water out of here. Now, should I go out there? That's all property of the golf course. Am I going to get arrested Am I allowed to go out there and make a ditch all the way along the line, dig down about 6 inches? Because everything is uphill. I want you to understand. To the left is a golf course. To the right is my house. Everything is uphill to the left from those plants. It isn't supposed to be. It's supposed to be dropping. I'm a little passionate about this because I got drafted. I got drafted once in my life. In 1968 by the machine that ran the Vietnam War. And now I got drafted again and nobody ever told me. I feel that when I sent my dues, in for the first 8 years, people over there that knew what the story was here were laughing and throwing parties on my money. I was paying dues on 3 friggin' houses here for about 8 or 9 years. Now I'm paying on 2 and I'm kicked out of the HOA. And the reason I'm kicked out of the HOA is for the information that's on this video. I'm not going to be allowed to tell other people, not in the HOA, or not under their roof, the deficiencies of this lot. This is redneck engineering right here. This is dumb, buckeye, homegrown, redneck, good old boy, lodge brother, taking care of their lodge brothers. They had a lodge meeting down there when the day they condemned. There's supposed to be a catch basin down there, that the water runs under the cart path. There was supposed to be a lot of engineering and a lot of money spent. They took a shortcut. And they passed on to the consumer the responsibility of draining their own lot. Let them people drain their own lots. Those lots were designed to drain onto the golf course. That's why the golf course is there, for drain relief. Drain relief for the neighborhood. Somehow the spirit of the document, when they interpreted out here in the Planet of the Apes, if the Planet of the Apes had a golf course, this would be it. Okay? That'll be my final thing. Thank you very much for listening.